Okay, got the tire in place. I lowered the bike down to align the fork with the wheel so that we can insert the axle here. So we're gonna, you have to be careful when you're lowering it down to make sure that the collars fit between the forks, because they can pop out or they can angle. And so had to let it down slowly, make sure the wheel was upright, the collars were seated, and then slowly lowered it, just keeping an eye, make sure I didn't bend anything or force anything out of place. So now we're lined up, and we should be able to just basically take the axle in there, and we inserted it and it went all the way through, and it forced the, here's the nut on the other side, so we'll have to hold that in place and start getting close up to the, so now that we've got the thread started, we just rotate the axle and we will tighten it down. And the book basically says to insert that front axle from the right, tighten the axle nut B, which is, this is the axle nut right here, and the axle should be engaging it somewhat. So we will tighten that. And then the right axle clamp bolt C, and then D, which is, they're pointing to the, this is on the right side of the bike. Of course, that's from the rider position. We're looking at it opposite, but the right side is always your throttle side, and then the left is the clutch side. So we'll finish tightening the axle to the nut. And then another thing it recommends before we tighten down the clamp bolts is pump the front fork up and down 4 or 5 times to make sure everything seats on the axle. So I will tighten this a little more in place. I'll remove the jack, and then we'll compress the forks, and then we'll tighten the clamp bolts, and I'll install the calipers, and we'll be good to go. And also the wheel speed sensor, and that's it, and we should be good to go. And let's make sure there's our arrow, rotation forward, so we got the wheel on right. So alright, we'll turn it off and we'll finish tightening up.